I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Here.
Councilman Underwood. Councilwoman Templeton.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Venz.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Tenen.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. And for the bills tonight, we have a total of $871,931.82.
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Motion has passed. Consent agenda is approved. Remarks of visitors.
We received none.
We'll move right along to bids from the fire department. Rescue airbags.
Come this evening to request to replace our existing airbags. They're ending their years of service. They're starting to see their wear and tear a lot. They're approximately 15 years old. We demonstrated many airbag companies. Paratech was the company that stood out. They have 2 sales reps in the area that we can use, have 2 bids. We budgeted $16,500 for them. And Sentinel fire equipment come in at $15,360.98, and Banner fire equipment come in at $15,329.50, which is all under budget. My suggestion is we go with Banner. They are also going to give us a buyback for the airbags we have now to take them out of service. Don't know how much that is. It's not a whole lot, but it's a little bit.
Okay, any discussion? Any questions? I will entertain a motion to approve the bid from Banner Fire Equipment for $15,329.50 for the new rescue airbags. Motion's been made and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Chief,
sir.
get the airbags. Next thing we have is the sale of the Vector truck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. Before you this evening, you have a memorandum from me requesting permission to dispose of what is now excess or old equipment. That is the 1994 International Vector truck. The purpose of having the new one outside wasn't just to show you the new truck, but also to remind you that we have a new vehicle and that the old one is now extraneous. So I'd like your permission to sell it to Crystal City. They've shown interest. So in keeping with our code of ordinances, I got a quote from the manufacturer. That's Co Equipment. That's who we bought the current truck from. That's who the truck that we're trying to dispose of came from. They gave us a range of between $10,000 and $15,000 being its retail value. Therefore, I'd like your permission to sell the truck to Crystal City for $12,500, the midpoint between that value that they gave.
Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we're supposed to open it up to competitive bids, don't we need some competitive bids?
Well, I suppose we could do that. I thought that perhaps since we were selling it to our neighbor, that maybe just getting the trade-in price would have been sufficient. We did not choose to trade it in when we bought the other vehicle because we anticipated that Crystal perhaps would like it. We still have the Purple Wave that's coming up, and so we can go that route as well. It's just on the open market. I mean, who knows? We could get more, or we could get less for it. So it's kind of a crapshoot. So this way was a guaranteed price. I suppose we could also I could put an ad in the paper and ask for sealed bids. And I guess Crystal could do that. I don't know. There's lots of different choices, I guess.
It's a fairly specialized piece of equipment, so if we were to sell it, it would be on Purple Wave. We certainly wouldn't be able to sell it, I think, by running an ad in the paper. So Purple Wave would probably be our best option.
Okay.
If we were going to sell it outside of, say, to another municipality or to say a company that does a lot of hydro excavating or things of that sort.
I have a question.
Because it says competitive bid. If we're not going to seek a competitive bid, then just
Well,
wanted
I
to make
think
sure we were noting that.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from. I think the due diligence there is to obviously seek what the value of the truck is, which we did from Co. And then I think in the spirit of being a good neighbor, the fact that Crystal has a need for a piece of equipment that they can use, that's the intent there.
Isn't that was paid 500 grand for?
This is the
I
94.
know the new one.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy of mine that does hydro excavating, and I find out from him what's worth. He's got 3 of them.
Well, again, Co is telling us that the truck is worth about $10,000 to $15,000. The truck is 28 years old.
Yeah.
What did they offer us for a trade-in? Because Matt said we didn't trade it in because we were thinking about Crystal. What did they offer?
Yeah, Kevin, the report says that the trade-in value is about $5,000. The market value is somewhere between 10 and 15.
Okay, so I guess my question is to Larry, don't we, by rules and regulations, shouldn't we, instead of just making helping a neighbor out, I'm all for that, but shouldn't we have bids on that?
Yeah, the code says you get bids whenever possible. So I think competitive bids is probably the best, safest thing to do. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem, with Crystal, but I think we need to get bids. We can't just bypass the rules to help a neighbor.
Well, I think in this case, Kevin, as we've done in the past, if that's the intent that the council would like to go, what we have done, because it would be a competitive bidding process, Purple Wave is set up that way. We bring capital equipment to council for your permission for us to dispose of it. We've done that with lots of equipment in the past, certainly last year. So with your consent, we would just list it. Obviously, there you receive bids because it's an auction site.
Can we put a minimal bid accepted? So we're guaranteed to at least get
that's not how Purple Wave works. No.
Then let's don't use them. Like I said before, to me, it was just stuff laying around. This is something of substantial value.
Well, Kevin, it's a government auction website. I mean, the Gov Deals is the same way as well.
I think we can choose not to, if the bids don't come back the way we wanted, we can always pull the item. We can reject the sale, but I don't think we can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's more than acceptable to me.
but I'll phone them. We were thinking spring sale anyway, so we'll get that ball rolling.
So would it be, I guess, at this point, then we would need a motion from council for us to go ahead and list the parcel. And then we'll have another list of items that we'll bring to you so that we can dispose of those as well in the same matter. Is that okay? But can we go ahead and put this one out there? Someone would be
Yeah,
willing to
can
make
we have a
on this?
motion to do that?
I make the motion. And if we don't get the money that we were going to sell it to Crystal, we pull the item.
One comment. I don't want to interrupt the motion. I would still like to have you check with your friend, Jim, just so the council has an idea, if you would, please.
Matt, can we get some information on
Yeah.
wells and all that stuff?
Yep.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of putting the vac truck up on Purple Wave? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Matt, will you take care of that?
Yes, sir.
Next bid we have coming up is for salt.
That's me too. Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, as you guys know, we used a whole lot of salt here battling that last winter storm. And if you've driven by our storage building, you saw that we are down significantly. And so thankfully, Shane put together this memorandum requesting the purchase of some salt. You might also recall we have some money budgeted. I believe it's about $60,000. Yes, that's true. $60,000 on this year's budget. And so we're not asking to spend all of it, but we'd like to refill the salt storage building. And depending on what happens here later this week, we may end up getting all 500 tons. But if we don't, the staff recommendation is that we purchase from DBK because they will allow us to only take what we need. Everybody else says we have to take the full, or at least 80% of the order. So that's the staff recommendation, is to please accept the bid quote, even though it's not the lowest, it's the best and lowest bid from DBK.
Hey, Matt, question for you.
Yes, sir.
It's my annual salt question. I let it go for 2 years. What if we order this thing in the summer like some cities do? Because I did pull up some other cities that paid this per ton, and it seems like when they get it earlier, they're getting it cheaper than what we're paying.
They do. But we have one critical difference that I presume is going to prevent us from taking advantage of that most generally, and that is the size of our structure. Again, one snow event took our structure from what was as very full as we could get it to about 1/3. So we used 2/3 of our salt supply in one snow event. So it's just pretty easy to figure out we didn't have a big enough building. So we can't store enough salt to actually have a seasonal amount in there. So we have to buy it mid-season anyway. That amount, how much? That's anybody's guess. And last year, we were caught in the similar situation, bad snowstorm, low supply. So we bought a significant amount and we filled it all the way up. In hindsight, that was probably a mistake. We probably should have bought a little bit less salt if we could have found a vendor so that we could have taken advantage of a lower price in the off season. But this vendor, DBK, is going to allow us to only take what we need. And, hopefully the snowstorm coming up isn't going to be significant. And maybe we won't have to purchase that much. And we can do exactly what you said. Wait later in the year, do another order, save a few $100s a ton, maybe, or a few $100 over the cost of the refill.
How many tons was that designed to hold?
I don't know, but I don't think we can get much more than 600 tons in there.
Actually, I think we've packed it to where it's spilling out of the door, and it's somewhere probably maybe 800.
Yeah.
That's pushing it all the way up into the rafters, and maybe 800 ton. Josh, you were around on that side. Okay. So.
No shelf life on that, right?
Yeah, as long as we can keep it dry, it's good forever.
Well, then it goes back to what you just said a second ago, then. Let's buy as little as possible from this vendor So when it gets to summertime, we can fill that baby up with a big amount at a cheaper
Yeah.
price.
I mean, right, that's exactly what we're thinking. It's just the hard part for Shane and I is figuring out, looking into our crystal ball to figure out what that number is. Because
exactly.
we don't want to be in a position where we're sitting in front of you guys trying to explain why it was we didn't have enough salt on hand because we wanted to save $1,000 on our refill.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, so that's the hard part is knowing what that magic number is. But we'll do our very best to buy as little as necessary so that we can take advantage of lower prices in the summer.
Do you use the salt for both snow and ice or just the ice that we had?
I think it really depends on the temperature. You know, at a certain temperature, it just nothing does any good. And we were fortunate this last time that we weren't in that situation and for very long. We were able to get the salt going because we weren't having much success getting the stuff cleaned that first night until we started putting the salt down.
Yeah, you wasn't the only one. MoDOT and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to buy enough salt that we're in good shape. Like I said, then we can worry about saving money when summer comes. But like I said, let's don't put Matt on a budget here to where we're not taking care of business over a few dollars. You know, that's my thought. Because it's February, it's wintertime.
This isn't rocket science. In the summertime, you order it, you get it cheaper, you fill it up to the brim, and if you need more in the winter, you buy it then. I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand the supply and demand of it. I really don't. Just fill it up in the summer, get it for a cheaper price. And then you close the doors, keep it dry. I mean, I swear to you, if the county can do it, I know we can. I swear. I swear.
Right now, as I understand the discussion, right now, we're low on salt.
Yes, sir.
Right. Get salt.
We need to buy some salt. We have a bid from DBK for 500 tons at $42,750. I'll entertain a motion to accept that bid.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yep.
Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Matt, buy some salt. Next on the agenda, we have an animal control software upgrade.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of City Council, you have before you tonight a memorandum from me describing our need for a software upgrade for our animal control management software. So this is the software we use to record the purchase of dog licenses and to track all types of other animal control activities. The software we have is very, very, very old. And by changing to BSNA, it would standardize our software with the rest of the city's suite. So there is some added benefits to using the BSNA software package. We're a little bit over budget, as I noted in the memo, but I think that this is worthwhile and that the $400 that we're over really for the benefits that this will provide, I think it's well worth it. So I'm looking for your support in purchasing the animal control software upgrade for $8,425.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for animal control software from BS&A for $8,425.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner, Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Motion carries. Matt, go ahead. The next bid we have is for playground equipment for Sunset Park. And we have a staff report, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to request purchase for a new piece of playground equipment for Sunset Park for the total of $26,427, no change. And that does include installation. It's to replace a piece of equipment that was removed due to its age and condition last spring, summerish. The company that did the install that I'm requesting is the same ones that did Jokerst and the stage field playground equipment at Kreitz Park. There is new toys. It's a single source piece of equipment, and the installer they use is also a local guy from Farmington that has done both the installs for Jokerst and Kreitz. Larry spoke very highly of him, and so do the guys at the shop.
Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Two questions. What was budgeted for this by chance, Josh or Greg?
There's a few things in the line item. We have 50,000 that's in that line item, but it includes a couple other upgrades at some parks, but this was well under what we had anticipated it
So
to
this
be.
isn't going to cause you any operational
No,
issues?
not at all.
That's
35,000.
what we budgeted? Because the reason I ask is like at Sunset, or excuse me, Larry Kreitz Park, we have the shaded areas. Is that a possibility to have that targeted in the future?
Absolutely. The area it's going in is pretty shady from trees.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
it might not be an issue as far as shade covers, but it's something we can look at though.
Thank you,
Mike,
sir.
that line item also included doing those upgrades at South Adams. So the amount, this and that are part of that 35. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're
No,
fine.
absolutely. We're comfortable. No, we're good.
Are there other vendors in this space?
For playground equipment, there are, that's kind of why we're taking equipment out now because of the vendors that we purchased years ago. These are high quality. I mean, it's hard to beat their equipment. So
Landscape Structures is part of the Joint Purchasing Alliance, so we've gone towards them in the past. Certainly, I think most of the play structures the city has bought in the last 5 years have all been through New Toys and
Yes.
Landscape Structures because of the purchasing agreements that they have in place.
Mhm.
And then Fergie, the agreement with them, he's a certified installer.
yes.
There's a lot of safety requirements that you have with installations now. They have to be done to a certain spec. So that's why Fergie is a recommended installer.
Are there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to purchase playground equipment from New Toys for $26,427.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant.
Yes.
Motion carries by the equipment.
Thank you.
Ordinances and resolutions.
There are none.
New business,
None?
old business.
None.
Monkey business.
Okay. Let's go to reports. Councilman Boyer.
I'd like to know about this Personnel Policy Review Committee. I didn't even know we had one.
Well, as I've mentioned in some of my Friday reports to council, obviously, we have a personal policy manual that the city has in place. It's been in place for some time, and from time to time, it's always helpful to take a look at those policies. So I've tasked Matt, and he has a group of employees. I know Stephanie's on there, Shane's on there, Josh M. Gary Cannon was on there. So they've been reviewing those policies and looking at updates. things that, I mean, we've been bringing things to council kind of in piecemeal fashion, but really a comprehensive look at the entire policy manual is something that needs to be done. So that's something they've been working on. And once they complete that process, I'll have a chance to sit down with them. We'll get a chance to go through all of it together. And I hope to have an updated handbook to bring to you guys, and we'll have a chance to all go through it together as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
So,
Councilman Weiner.
Everything, really don't have too much to say. Everything seems to be doing very well. The snow was quite a impediment, whatever, for the city. I think the city did a great job with all of our new trucks that we had, and it was a blessing that we had those trucks to be able to do what we did. One of the things that just was on my mind, I was up in Maplewood the other day, and I saw an AED, automatic external defibrillators. You know, I saw them on a wall, like in different places. And as I look in our town, I don't really, maybe I'm just overlooking them, but I don't see like these life-saving devices, maybe like in the library and City Hall, maybe at parks. Do you have one here? Okay, very good. Okay, my oversight then. Okay, so yeah, no, don't want that to happen. So, okay, very good. So oversight on my part, but that's all I have, sir.
All righty. Mary, do we have one in the library? Okay.
There's a couple, I know we have one at the sports complex. There was a couple of them that the city installed, I want to say probably 6-7 years ago. They were paid for by the Jefferson Foundation. So there are a few locations, but certainly it's something we can look into for the library.
It might be just a nice, safe thing to have so that if something happens, that we'd be able to respond to it. And they're not, at least I haven't noticed them, so I guess they're not really that obvious to me, even if, yeah, but I'm happy to hear that we do have some.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mary, I have some influence with the ambulance district since I'm vice chairman of the board. I'll get a hold of Kurt Steve and see what we can figure out to get one. Okay. All right, you're welcome. Councilman Cook.
Thank you, sir. All I have is I want to say a great job to all employees who helped in the winter. From police, fire, parks to road. I thought they did an excellent job. I know it was a very long 3 days, and you have my appreciation and thank you so much to everybody. Please pass it along, Matt, to those who are not watching or listening tonight. And Josh, the same thing, and both chiefs. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Councilwoman Templeton.
Same for the snow. Everybody did a great job. I was very impressed. Living on North Mill, I had very few cars sliding back down the hill. So that's always a bonus not to see. And then I also wanted to say that I was very, very impressed and pleased at how things were handled for Chief Kramer. That was definitely done the way that it needed to be done. So I just wanted to say that was, much, much appreciated by, I think, everybody in the town and hopefully the family as well.
Anything else? Thank you. Councilman Vans.
Ditto on Councilman Cook and Stacy also for the roads and the funeral and everything. That was something to attend to be at. That's all I have, sir.
Councilman Tenen.
Same thing. I unfortunately have to remove a lot of snow myself, and it was a tough one. And I was really impressed by the guys because I saw them. I was out when they were out, and they were everywhere. It was a tough one, and then I was definitely impressed with Kevin's funeral as well. First class. Yeah, it was really impressive. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman Dennis.
Once again, just to reiterate everything everybody else said, I thought our our staff did the usual great job. And, I'm very proud to be a part of the city, and we have great staffing in all our departments. And like I said, it's hard to think about Kevin not being with us. It's still a kind of a tough subject with me. So, I definitely think we honored him in a good way. And, he is missed, and we've got big shoes there to fill. So that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Well, I wanted to say publicly, say thank you to all the fire departments in the cities who participated in the funeral for Chief Kramer. It was, as has been mentioned, it was very impressive. And I was glad that that worked out like it did. I am extremely happy with the Public Works Department and how they handled the snow removal job on this snow event that we had. And they did a great job. Be sure and let them know. And I'd also like to tell Chief Lewis, I look on his report. I see 173 traffic stops and 113 tickets. So anyone that has any questions about whether our police department is doing traffic control, why, I'm afraid they are, and doing a good job of it. So thank you, Chief. And that's not all I have. So if anybody has any other comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. False alarm, that's
Mr.
right.
Mayor, I rescind my motion.
Well, thank you. I'll need a motion to go into closed session for
Read that.
relating to RSMO 610.021, paragraph 3, personnel.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner, Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Timmon.
Yes.
Motion passes. We are in a closed session. We'll take a 5-minute break